So, you want to hear a story? Well, I used to know a lot of pretty interesting ones. Some of them so funny, you'll laugh yourself unconscious. Others so terrible, you'd never want to repeat them. But now, I can't remember any of those. So maybe I'll just tell you about the time I found that lost thing. This all happened many summers ago, down at the beach. I was, as usual, working tirelessly on my bottle top collection. At least, until I saw the thing. It sure wasn't doing much. Loneliness is a personal and subjective experience. According to Psychology Today of October 11, 2016, social scientists still have trouble pinpointing where the feeling of loneliness comes from, since the deep ache or emotional and social isolation associated with loneliness can occur even when we are surrounded by loved ones, often causing us to push people away. What they do know is there are steps we can take to cure some of the distress. Make plans to get out of the house, reconnect with friends, and surround yourself with people who have a positive attitude. This idea may not seem revolutionary to adults, but loneliness is a heavy subject to tackle with children. Fortunately, the following short film beautifully illustrates this concept, teaching us that we can still learn a thing or two when we explore the art form of children's literature in various mediums. Adapted from children's author Sean Tan's work, The Lost Thing. It just sat there with a really weird look about it. You know, a sad, lost sort of look. Nobody else seemed to notice it was there. They were all too busy doing other stuff, I guess. Hello! It turned out to be really friendly, and I played with the thing for most of the afternoon. It was great fun. But the whole time I couldn't help feeling something wasn't quite right. As the hours slouched by, it seemed less and less likely that anyone was coming to take the thing home. I asked a few people if they knew anything about it. Soon, there was no denying the unhappy truth. It was lost. I took the lost thing over to Pete's place. Pete has an opinion on just about everything. Cool. Pete didn't know what the thing was exactly, but he said what he always does, that all physical manifestations could be identified empirically through careful observation, calibrated measurement, and controlled experimentation. In the end, Pete just shrugged. He didn't think the lost thing came from anywhere and didn't belong anywhere either. Some things are like that. They're just plain lost. There was nothing left to do but take the thing home with me. As for my parents, well, I already knew that Mom would be concerned about how filthy its feet were, and that Dad would be concerned about all sorts of strange diseases. And they both just wanted me to take it back to where I found it. But it's lost! Not that it made any difference. I decided to hide the thing in our back shed, at least until I could figure out what to do next. I mean, I couldn't just leave it wandering the streets. The lost thing seemed happy. But I sure couldn't keep it in the shed forever. Mom or Dad would eventually notice it when they came out looking for a hammer or something. It was a real dilemma. The next morning, we caught a tram all the way into the city. We arrived at a tall gray building with no windows. Are you finding that the order of day-to-day life is unexpectedly disrupted? Do you suffer from unclaimed property, objects without name, troublesome artifacts of unknown origin, things that just don't belong? Don't panic. You've got a pigeonhole to stick it in. The Federal Department of Odds and Ends. It smelled like disinfectant. I have a lost thing. Fill in the forms. I was looking around for a desk and I suddenly felt something touch my elbow. And then there was a tiny voice. If you really care about that thing, you shouldn't leave it here. This is a place for forgetting. Here, take this. Cheers? It was some kind of sign, I guess. Not very important looking, but it did seem to point somewhere. Eventually, we found what seemed to be the right place. In a dark little gap off some anonymous little street. The kind of place you'd never know existed unless you were actually looking for it. I still think about that lost thing from time to time. Especially when I see something out of the corner of my eye that doesn't quite fit. You know, something with a weird, sad, lost sort of look. I see that kind of thing less and less these days. Maybe there aren't many lost things around anymore. Or maybe I've just stopped noticing. Too busy doing other stuff, I guess.